How are you? Okay, GM everyone, GM, thank you for joining it today, and thank you for joining. So today we'll be talking about building the future of Africa on base ecosystem. And for those joining us for the first time, this is our weekly session from the Ethereum Nigeria community. And today we have with us the West Africa lead, Sir Damilare. Thank you for being a part of this. If you could just give us like a brief
Sure.
intro and yes, just take it.
Okay, thank you so much, Essay. Hi everyone, my name is Dami. You can just call me Dami. Everyone calls me Dami. I work with Coinbase as the West Africa lead for Base, and yeah, I'm so happy to be here, particularly to engage with the Nigerian Ethereum ecosystem.
Oh, okay. So today we'll be talking about building the future of Africa on base and basically unlocking scalable blockchain solutions. Like I said in the introduction, Sadam Laria is the base West African lead, and I think it's actually very, very exciting having someone being part of the core Coinbase team that is overseeing the whole of West Africa. How's that been? Like, what's the future like? How's that been for you personally?
Well, I a little backstory, right? I've been doing stuff for Base for like a year now, right? I started last year, May, but I just officially like joined the core team June 1st, this month. And it has been, to be very honest, it has been very crazy because first and foremost, like there are not a lot of Africans in like the core Coinbase team, and the Coinbase team is around like 4,000 employees, right? And so it's been a very nice privilege, right? But also like very daunting as well because there's this like invisible pressure on your neck to just to just to just deliver and like show the highest value that can come from Africa, right? From West Africa, from Nigeria. So yes, it has been nice. It has been it's a very rare privilege, of course, but it's also very filled with pressure. I mean, you just have to deliver. You have to show value at the highest of level.
Okay. I think I remember when Base initially came to Africa. That was like last year, and we had all
Yeah.
this campaign of Base in several parts of Nigeria and also in Ghana as well. So I think seeing you be part of the main team and being from Africa, that's actually very inspiring. It kind of gives us something to look up to.
Well, I don't see it that way. For me, I just see it as a way to like to to get Africa like in the tightest of rooms, number one, and then number two, to also like pull in to be able to pull in more resources for Africa, because like being there just means if there are any decisions that they have to take that um 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 that like determines the kind of resources that comes into Africa, then I'm there to actually advocate for African builders, advocate for West African builders. So I think that is like the most important, or like the most important thing for me, because I can use like this position to pull in more resources, pull in more network, pull in more support for African builders. Yeah. But like since last year, it has been crazy to be very honest. Like all of the campaigns on Chain Summer last year, I think
Yeah.
last year July, and then we had base around the world. So after Nigeria, I went to Kenya, did stuff in Nairobi. and then came back again. So it's been one hell of a ride, to be honest. I like there's a lot of backstory to why it took that long for me to join the core team, but I don't think it's something that I can share like on the live. But the main thing there is just to keep showing value, right? I mean, most times everyone always have like doubts, but like when you show that value and then they see that value clearly and then they're like, okay, yeah, convinced. Let's bank on this person or this region or this set of builders, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah. And we're supposed to be joined. Charis is supposed to be a part of this. I mean, she's doing really amazing work. Seeing also a lady being the forefront of this movement, and also our younger brother. I think I saw him on the base main handle on X when we're talking about content creation and everything. And I must say, your team, you guys are doing really, really fantastic. So I'm just going to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
out
yeah.
there.
I mean, I
Mhm.
mean, those guys are like they've done a lot. Coco, Caris, there are also other builders as well. I mean, a lot of them that
Yeah.
have like that have helped so much in just kind of pushing the adoption of base amongst builders, both technical and non-technical. So yes, they deserve their flowers, to be
Okay.
honest.
They do. And Coco, if you're seeing this, I'm just going to give you your special shout out. Like you have to clap. If you've seen him in real life, you know the energy that boy is coming with. It's amazing. And now I'm just going to go down to my first question. So it's actually very simple, but like, why should the builders in Africa choose the base ecosystem? Like, from your perspective, why should we build on base?
Interesting. And like I'll be very direct and very transparent, right? Because like the stage that we are at in the African ecosystem right now, we need to be very truthful with ourselves so we can move forward, right? And one thing is it's just very rare to see like so base is not the first professional no, it's not the first blockchain I work with professionally, right? I've worked with a blockchain previously, and apart from that, I've also worked with like a number of crypto companies, right? You can actually just go on LinkedIn. I don't want to mention all of that here, but the main thing there is just it's very rare to see a crypto company or a blockchain ecosystem care about Africans the way the base ecosystem and the wider Coinbase ecosystem the way they do, right? Because like Coinbase is like at the top of the whole crypto industry right now, and like seeing them care about African builders, try to support them as much as possible. Like in just 1 year, what Base has actually done to support African builders is phenomenal. And I think I can mention a few here
Yes.
that I've never seen like in all of my time in the crypto space. And I think one of them, one major one is the partnership between the Coinbase wallets, which is non-custodial, and then Onboard, right? For those that don't know Onboard is like an app built by Yele Badamosi that you can use to like on ramp and off ramp, so convert cryptos to naira and naira to crypto. They also do other things, right? But like that is just one of the features that Onboard actually offers. And getting on board to become like the primary on-ramp and off-ramp partner for Coinbase wallets in like 50 plus countries is something that
Yeah.
I've never seen, right? In all of my time in the space, because Coinbase is a public US company, right? And so they're doing that with a Nigerian founded company is actually very insane. Looking at how hostile our government is against crypto and the whole crypto brouhaha with Binance, right, that we had. And so like I knew how much time and resources went into that deal for it to work. Like it took more than 1 year. So they doing that was like a very good sign for me and also like for the whole ecosystem that yes, this guy's main business, right, for African builders. And then aside from that, the most recent one that happened is like base batches, right? Where this happened yesterday, in fact, where we had builders, they came to build in the buildathon, and then from the buildathon, we also had okay, let me just backtrack a bit. So we've had like buildathons previously in the last year, And then one thing that happens during, so when I say buildathon, for those that don't know, buildathon just basically means hackathon, but for both technical and non-technical people. So that's why the base ecosystem we call it buildathon, right? But it's just still an hackathon. And so most times in the industry, when these hackathons happen, most times you just see the teams, the products that have won, they distribute their rewards to them, and that's it, right? Nothing major to follow up comes from like the ecosystem that actually organized the hackathon. But for Biz, we had like two previous buildathons last year, and from that we've actually seen a number of products that have come up and like they are doing well right now. They're like full-fledged products. One is Aza, another one is Paycrest, another one is Noblox by Chibi. And so like all of these things just show the intentionality that the base ecosystem have towards Nigeria, West Africa, and Africa at large. And then the recent one that happened yesterday was the one where, for the builders that built and they just concluded buildathon last month, they were opportune to actually come and pitch in front of a number of key industry players like the Coinbase Ventures team, like Balaji of Network School, like Imran of Alliance DAO. So these guys are like the creme de la creme of the blockchain industry. And so seeing African teams get the opportunity to pitch to these guys in public is not something that you see every day, right? So yes, I think all of these things just publicly show how intentional Base is with African builders and like the length they will go to just make sure they support African builders to like build build phenomenal products on chain, right, from Africa to the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's actually very evident. Sometimes when you are scrolling on a timeline, you see Jesse, and sometimes it drops this pidgin slang once in a while, and it's always very. I think it's very very encouraging, and kudos to this. I mean, I am from Africa, and seeing all of that, it's just very very. It's just very inspiring. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay. So as I said, we're supposed to be joined by Charis and for her to give like a female perspective. But since we have you here, we're going to we're going to direct all the questions to you. Like I
Sure.
know you're a guy, but like what are the opportunities? Are there opportunities particularly to tailor to females in the ecosystem, or is it like a level ground, everybody just do your best work?
Yeah. So one other thing that actually differentiates the Base ecosystem is the focus on both technical and non-technical builders, right? Like, so one problem that the industry at large has struggled with is the fact that it was previously much more focused on devs, right? So it was only devs that are actually getting a bunch of the focus from ecosystems, right? And that is not abnormal because like the blockchain is a B2B product, right? And so the blockchain can only be used by devs. Devs build products, then the non-technical builders or users can come and use those products, right? But like the hyper focus on devs has actually has alienated normal. Let me use the word normal. has alienated non-technical people from the space. And so previously we just had a bunch of devs and then a lot of products that nobody was using because there were like no users like in the ecosystem. And so what Base did in 2023 when they launched, because Base is just around 1.5 year old, what they did was they actually focused on both technical and non-technical people. And so what that meant was if you are a technical person, a developer, yes, come and build products. But if you are a non-technical person, so you are a content creator, I know S is a content creator and also a developer anyway. If you're a content creator, if you are a marketer, if you are a writer, whatever skill that you have, right? Or whatever you can do, an artist, designer, anything, come onto Base. So far, you could actually just create or contribute value in a way to the Base ecosystem, then you are welcome. And like that was where the brand slogan was born from, Base is for everyone, right? Because like we actually try to cater to both technical builders and non-technical builders. And so what we've seen so far is the technical builders build products, right? But now the non-technical builders,
Yeah.
for example, specifically creators. So what they do is they go through products that they like, that the devs have built, that actually solves a major problem in like the society, and they try to create content that like that shows the value of these technical products to users, right? And so what we've seen so far is like um a what's the word now? A flywheel, right? So technical builders come in to build products, and then non-technical builders come in and use that their content creation skills to actually amplify what these technical builders have built. And so users actually get to know about these products, and then they jump on the products, they use them, and when they use them, the founder gains like more revenue, it raises capital from the base ecosystem, and then it can use that money to fully employ both the technical and non-technical guys to work for the products full time. And then you can use some of it as well to back a pool that just keeps going and going. Sorry, a flywheel that just keeps going and going. So specifically for non-technical builders, they have a very, very vital part to play in the base ecosystem because they are like the distribution powers for products and there are a lot of opportunities for them. Um, One of it is like on Farcaster, where we actually distribute weekly rewards to builders, both technical and non-technical. Another one is the upcoming Base Voices program. Please don't let me say much about that. But
Mm.
like, so all of this, the long-term plan is to actually have, or like the long-term vision is to actually have successful products from Africa. Because once we have the likes of Paystack on chain, we have the likes of Flutterwave on chain.
Mm.
These guys actually employ hundreds of people in their company, right? And so these guys employ both technical and non-technical people, right? And so when they employ them, they pay these guys because they actually gain revenue. They've raised, and when they pay these guys get purchasing power to like live comfortably well from Africa, and then they can also then use that money to like they can save it up and use to invest in other upcoming builders, right? So like that is just the flywheel, that is the long term vision. But in the short term, we are trying to incentivize both technical and non-technical builders by distributing weekly rewards, just keep them going till like they hit that big break.
Yeah. Okay, okay. I think that makes sense. It's kind of like this recycling process is like empowering everybody in the ecosystem to contribute the part, whether technical or non-technical. So if you're watching this, basis for everyone.
Yep,
Okay, basis for
yep,
everyone. And I think I like
yep.
that looking at it from that perspective, knowing that everybody has a part to play. And if you are very familiar or if you've been in the Web3 space for some time, you realize that the method of marketing in the Web3 space compared to Web2 space is actually quite different. The method of distribution is quite different. And then even though we still have this sort of should I say onboarding gap that we still face trying to explain the different blockchains. I think even having products like on board, creating that on ramp and off ramp system is actually it's actually very great. So now I'm going to ask you like a very practical question, a very, very practical question. Being the base West Africa lead, like what are some current gaps you see as towards adoption? What are some, should I say, tooling or current infrastructure, or whether it's talent or a distribution gap? Like, what are the kind of gaps that you've seen so far?
Hmm. To be honest, I think Nigerian Nigerians are like one of the most talented people in the world. Like, and I'm saying this because like I work with Coinbase, right? I have um I have colleagues from different parts of the world, right? But and I also have like um networks into like different communities across the world. And like the talent from Nigeria is crazy, right? So there's a colleague I have currently is a second Nigerian in Coinbase. His name is Joseph. He actually joined Coinbase as a blockchain security engineer. And like it was the very first Nigerian to actually join Coinbase in like 13 years, right? And that's because of like the talents that he has, because Coinbase had to relocate him from Nigeria to Canada. And so imagine Coinbase relocating him from Nigeria to Canada. It shows like the level of talent this guy has, and it's not just the only one, right? I work with a lot of technical talents every day, yeah, in West Africa, and I also like get to speak with a lot of developers, right? We have unmatched talent, but I think one of our biggest hindrances to success is two, right? The first one is basically access to risk capital. So I call it risk capital because one thing that Jeff Bezos mentioned that actually stuck with me was he mentioned, so someone asked him in an interview that why is the US the capital of innovation in the world, right? Because so when I say capital of innovation, what that means is go through the biggest companies in the world. They are all from the US, right? Amazon, Walmart, Google,
Mhm.
Apple, Microsoft, they are all from the US. And that is not a coincidence. Why is it not from Europe or any other country? And that's because like the US, there's access to risk capital there. And Jeff actually himself, Jeff mentioned it. We all know Cluely, right? This upcoming, I'm not sure if you know Cluely, Essie. Cluely, this upcoming this
I don't.
new startup. You don't. Oh, interesting. So like uh it is just very easy if you are building in the US, it's very easy to get access to capital, right? Because you can
True.
raise from anyone. Like
From
you would see
from
young go on.
like those San Francisco guys, like if you're watching this too, thumbs up to you. Those guys can raise.
And like it's not even because of their ability, right? It's just because of the country. Like, so there is access to capital in the US, particularly SF. Not even SF alone, but SF is like the capital of like tech, right? So there is access to capital there. There are a lot of VCs that are willing and ready to pour capital into whatever you are building in the US, right? But we don't have that in Africa. To actually put things into perspective or into context, only 1% of capital in the blockchain industry comes into Africa. So only 1% of the global capital in the blockchain industry comes into Africa. The remaining 99% is out of Africa, right? So imagine having access to just 1% of capital. What do you want to achieve? Right? I know there are also a
Mhm.
lot of there's also a lot of opinions into okay, yeah, a few Africans that have raised and they've blown the money, right? But comparing that to other markets like the US, it's so minute, right? So I'm not saying we should raise capital and blow up the money, right? All I'm just saying is we don't have enough access to raise capital because if you are building a product, there are some kind of basic survival or let me say basic necessities that you need to cover, right? And so if you don't cover that, how then do you want to have the time and like the resources to like build a product that can take like 3 to 4 months, right? Even if when you can't even cover like your next meal or like your next week's meal, right? So that is something that I feel is one of the things that is hindering us here um, in Africa,
Okay.
access to risk capital. And I think the other one is just intentional support, right? Because a lot of ecosystems come and they say, yes, we love Africa, we do this, but like you ask them, how many of them have actually come into Africa? How many of them have actually come here and live or try to live here for like 2 weeks or one
Uh,
month and see what we are going through? So yes, just those two things, access to risk capital and then intentional support.
Okay, okay. I think when it comes to the whole supporting Africa, I think I've also had some personal experience with that. They come in, they be like, "Oh, we love Africa, we love Africans and everything." Okay, put your money where your mouth is. That's where the issue starts. They're like, then you start getting all this, we don't have traction from there yet. I'm like, okay, you want traction from there. We do not know about your products. You're not willing to use our local markets to like publicize your product, but then you want traction from Africa and you're not supporting. That is also one very, very funny situation. And
Yeah,
then also
yeah,
something you
because
mentioned about, yeah,
okay.
go on, go on.
Yes, and like I think one good signal of this is just, for instance, if I know that a lot of companies need value, right? They want value. Let's very honest. Everyone wants value, and so you would actually double down in a region that provides value. But to actually get that value, you need to understand the market. And to actually understand the market, you need someone local on the ground that actually
Hmm.
understands the market and can explain the market to you, right? Not just as an ambassador or as someone that is in the cotton, right? So that you can actually carry them along. They can explain things to you in a way that you will understand better. And so like one of the main identifiers for me is, okay, you are serious about Africa. Do you have an African in your cotton? Yes, no. If you have, then yes, you are serious. You're actually getting there. But if you don't, I mean, you are not really serious, because like if you don't have an African in the court team or on the table, how do you want them to be represented, or how do you want to understand their market? So that's just it for me.
Okay, okay. And also one more thing to add is that when it comes to bootstrapping startups, Africans are, should I say, they are number one in it. When it comes to putting together the little we can find, we are very, very good at it. So startups from Africa, everyone should watch out. We're actually coming.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then I think I have two more questions. I have two more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and check on if we have questions from the audience themselves. But okay, so I have two more questions. My first question is like,
Okay.
being the ecosystem lead for West Africa, like what are your visions for the next year or for the next 6 months? Or can we expect, even if it's not from a developer's perspective, what should we be looking up to?
I think for me, I've actually made that very, very clear. Like, and I make it very public every single day. Like, I sing it like a song. I sing it like our national anthem. And that is creating an ecosystem of successful builders from Africa. Like that is my own personal mission and vision. Like I say these things a lot, but I also say it here again. If you start mentioning on the global level, right? When we start calling countries or regions, we can tie a global company to that region or that comes from that region. So for instance, let's say the US, we can what comes to mind is Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, all of these companies. When we say Asia, what comes to mind is Tron, what comes to mind is Binance Smart Chain, what comes to mind is Binance. When we mention India, what comes to mind also is Polygon. Polygon came from India, right? But like when you mention Africa, is there any company that is representing Africa at the global level? Like there are a lot of ones that are coming up, like they are trying. Like we have good,
Block radar,
yes, a
block
lot.
radar,
They're coming, block radar on board. Like a lot of them are
Urupe,
actually
Urupe, yeah.
Urupe. Yes, like in all ecosystems, right? This is not just even in the Ethereum or base ecosystem, but like when it comes to that global level, to be honest, we are not there yet. And like what can open doors? Like everyone wants value. Like so that is something that we should have at the back of our mind. Everyone wants value. Nobody wants a parasite. Everyone wants someone that will give them value in return. And so the only way you can actually do that is also show value, right? and and
Okay,
and and we don't yet have that company that can sit on the global level and command attention into Africa for us yet. I mean, I saw firsthand what Polygon did for India, right? Like what Sandeep and Polygon, the opportunities that they opened up and the attention that they opened up for India was enormous. That's because of course I worked there. And so once people can see an evidence, like so, like Burna Boy sang in a song, what was it? So cho cho cho, we should not stop doing cho 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 and actually show evidence, right? And so that evidence is what will open attention and like a large door of resources for the continent, right? You can see what Paystack did with Stripe. I mean, when Stripe came in and acquired Paystack, it actually opened up a wave of Web2 fintech apps. And so we had everyone jumping into fintech because in the psychology of everybody in Africa, we know, okay, it is possible to build a startup that a global giants like Stripe can come and acquire, right? So there's
Mm-hmm.
something that those things do psychologically. And also like when it comes to brand visibility as well, or let me say continental visibility. And so once we can have a company or startup that can actually come on the global level and command attention, then that would actually open up a lot of resources for the African ecosystem. We won't have to do so much to prove ourselves before we can get access to VC capital, access to attention. You understand? Because like we already have workings from the continent. So that is for me the next 6 months to 1 year. That is my PO. I sleep with it and wake up with it every single day to just create an ecosystem of successful builders from Africa.
Okay. So I think that is something to note down. Create an ecosystem of successful builders in Africa. So if you're
From
hearing
Africa.
this, please get your laptop or get your content creation tools and just get to the building. Just get to the building. And I have one more question. And then after that
Sure.
question, we'll now get down to the personal session. Like, and what I love to do is I like to know the person behind the Base West Africa lead. I don't want to know the title, like the person underneath all of that. So, okay,
Sure.
one last very serious question is like, what are some base? How can base drive mainstream usage beyond just developers? And I think
That's
you
a very
actually
good
answered that
question.
already when you talk about content creation, but I'll leave it to you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like you see, my mom and your mom, my dad and your dad, they don't care about stable coins, blockchain tech, the next future of finance. Like they don't fucking care. Do you understand? And if you look at it, I think we already have a very good playbook in Web2, and so we don't need to like invent a new playbook. We just have to like look at what worked in Web2 and just try to mirror it or replicate it in Web3, right? If you look at Web2 today, when the internet first came out, I'm not sure if you remember, our parents were always like, don't go on the internet. The internet is devilish. Like you can actually, particularly all these social media platforms like Facebook and the rest, uh, you can actually get like they were so concerned, right? The same thing too happened when traditional banking moved from like going to um going to like the branches, physical branches, to like doing things on mobile app. My parents were like, I can't do a transfer on my phone. I have to go to the physical branch because like, and it's normal for Africans because the average African man believes in seeing is believing. So they believe in what they can see rather than what you are telling them, right? But with time, we can see that
Mhm.
that culture is kind of changing. I mean, look at OP. Every single person in Nigeria, almost every single person uses OP. Even the market woman uses OP, right? And if you ask them, they'll tell you because it's fast
Yes.
now. You understand? So I think one thing that we just need to do
Yeah.
is two things. The first thing is we need to build products that solve problems. So all of these memes, tokens, they are good, but those things work for Asia, not for Africa, right? Because I know we actually need money and all of these things. But like if we really want these products, if we really want mainstream adoption, we want people from every corner or every sphere of life to actually come into the industry and start using products in the industry. It is not memes that will do that for us, right? It is it is products that
Mhm.
solve problems. For example, OP, right? And so I think that is number one. The first thing is making sure we are building products that solve problems, particularly from our immediate environment. It's good to solve global problems, but start local first, right? Because charity begins at
Mhm.
home. If you want to do something worthwhile, it starts from the problem that you understand well and the people that you understand well before trying to like shoot for the stars, right? That is number one. Now, number two is making sure that after we build those products, making sure that we can get it in front of mainstream users, or let me say in front of people that need it. And the only way we can do that is through content. Like we are in a full-blown creator economy. And that's why you will see apps like TikTok gaining traction. My mom is on TikTok, right? So even me, I don't really spend time on TikTok because I'm always busy, man. But like my mom is on TikTok, my dad is on TikTok. And even me, their child, their son is not really on TikTok like that. And that's because like they have fun on TikTok. Like they watch videos, they get informed on TikTok. And so that's what I'm saying about number one, solving problems. And then number two, content, right? Because everyone consumes content nowadays, from TikTok to Instagram Reels to YouTube Shorts. Like it all shows that we're actually moving into that full-blown creator economy. And you can see apps like Twitter, X trying to like bring in creator payouts so that people can actually start creating more and more on X. And so all that just tells you we are in a creator economy. That is where the world is moving to, right? So even most companies now are pivoting from being just a company to being a media company. And what that means is they have like, and that's because Coinbase is actually doing that. They have like an in-house team that actually helps with creating content and like pushing that content out there. So what I'm saying here is people consume content now more than ever before. And so we need to capitalize on that momentum, on that trend, and actually bring in on-chain products to mainstream through content. So to me, that is like the two most important things that we need to do right now. The first thing, build products that solve problems right from your local society. And then the second one is need to
Okay.
use we need to leverage more on content to get these on-chain products to mainstream. That's it for me.
Okay. 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 That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And if anybody is questioning that thought process, you should actually question your normal skit makers on how much they make per month. You'd be amazed. Like it is, and even down to people like what's the Tony Olumelu, the CEO of I think it's First Bank or UBA Bank, I don't know.
UBA.
And the guy still does this a day. UBA, yeah, he still does this a day in my life. And I'm like, Uncle, you have money. What are you doing on here with us? So
Exactly.
it's just recognizing these opportunities and grabbing it with three hands if you have extra hands. I mean, why not?
Exactly. Exactly. And now you can even
So
see
okay,
Femi Otedola doing the same thing. Like Femi is also like a billionaire that was
yes.
always inside before, but currently is there churning out content himself.
Oh yes, yes, and I think there's something they call it. They call them founder-led marketing. Yes, founder-led marketing.
Yep. Yep. Like people just want to
Okay,
see more of
so
your
that's
face
all
out there.
of the exactly. So that's all of the technical questions. If you have your questions, I'm going to be going through the comment section now and finding those questions. And this is the part where I love the most. This is the part where I get to meet the person behind the title. So we don't know so much about you except the fact that your name is Dami. So we're guessing you're Yoruba and you're from Nigeria. So like, who is Damilare? Beyond the title, beyond how did you get here? How is it possible you are even here? Walk us through that process.
Okay, so yes, happy to actually dive deep into that. But I think for security's sake, I'll like have to like cut out some bits. But so
No, no problem.
I actually mhm, I actually schooled in Ghana for 4 years, right? Like my university
Mm-hmm.
was in Ghana. So I schooled in Ghana for 4 years. And I think that experience actually made me understand or yeah, understand the value of crypto and the blockchain better. Because at that time, it was around 2014, 2017 when the CBNs like started giving that policy of you cannot use your card outside of Nigeria, right? So previously what I used to do is my dad would like pre-fund a bank account and then I have like an ATM card. And so from Ghana, I can actually just go to any ATM machine and just withdraw money from there using the card, right? So both for school fees and for pocket money, I was just doing that. But when the CBN actually came up with that policy, I think in 2017 to be exact, it was hell because
Mhm.
I had to, I had to like so I had to always, so every time I was coming to school, my dad to like, my dad had to like source for funds, and then I'll take my school fees in cash, put it in my bag, and then get to school and then go and pay it, right? And of course, if peradventure is opportune to actually have all of the school fees and be able to get it upfront, that's fine. But if maybe when life happens and it can't get everything, maybe it just gives me like half, I would have to, when it gets the other half, I have to go back home and then get the other half from him and then go back to school, right? So it was really crazy and stupid because cost wise, it wasn't efficient.
Mhm.
Security wise, it was very risky. Like, what if something happens to me on the way? So I think that was really what made me value cryptocurrency like after school. But yes, so I passed through all of that. I graduated. So my majors, I had two majors. I had double majors, right? So business administration and accounting. I had the first class, and then after that, I
Nice.
actually I I of course served. And then my career, professional career started from the Nigeria Stock Exchange, right? And so, but
Okay.
before then, I had known crypto. So wait, let me give you the backstory. So it's not as if
Okay.
like it was so the Nigeria Stock Exchange is huge, right? But that was because during my internship days, I got to like do an internship in the Ghana Stock Exchange. So,
Oh,
and that was because
nice.
of like my my standing in school then. It was because like, so if you're a first class, it was easy for the school to like put you into like places because like they wanted first class people and stuff like that. And so because of my experience then, I used that to actually get into the Nigeria Stock Exchange in Nigeria when I finished school, right? And so when I got into Nigeria Stock Exchange, I mean, I had known crypto and Binance this time, and it was I mean, like I saw a very big difference between a market that works 24/7 and a market that works for around like 4 hours or 4.5 hours a day, right? It was a stark difference.
Yeah.
And so I just knew, nah, I cannot really stay here for long. But I actually appreciate my experience there and like the people I got to meet, because that experience also made me value crypto and like the blockchain industry more, right? And so I worked there for some time and then I left. Crazy, like I resigned, right? And I suffered for it anyway because I was jobless for around like 9 months, right? Because who lives in Nigeria Stock Exchange, right? My parents called me crazy and stuff like that. But like I just left, and then later on I got to work with blockchain.com. So I'm not sure if you know blockchain.com. Blockchain.com is like one of like the
Oh,
OG
the
wallet.
very first.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I actually got to work with them as like an assistant country manager. So I was assisting the country manager for Nigeria at that point in time. And so I did stuff for them for some months, and then later I actually got into Polygon. And so the way I got into Polygon was very crazy. Shout out to Shudipa Yomide, like Shudipa actually helped a lot. I just saw, so I came about Polygon, and like I loved what they were doing. At that point in time, Polygon was a side chain. I think they're still a side chain, Polygon POS, right? But like they were the only ones trying to like scale Ethereum at that point in time. And so
Okay.
I just came about Polygon and I was like, yo, this is actually a very, very good initiative, a very good protocol. And so I just wrote, so I sat down and I prepared a plan, right? Like a GTM plan for Polygon to actually come into Africa properly. And I just shot it on Twitter. And like when I just did that, I tagged some few people to it as well. And then I think I got in touch with Shodi Yomide, like, and bam, I got into Polygon as like the dev marketing manager for Africa, right? And so we did stuff. I actually got this stuff there for some months. Then before I actually left as well, I resigned. And then I went on like a 1 year sabbatical, right? But on that sabbatical, I was also doing some kind of like consultancy work for um a smart contract security company. So they are called City Security. And so basically I was just there trying to like help them with GTM and also partnerships, right? I think we actually landed a very good partnership with Polygon at that point in time. So City Security became the official security partner for Polygon at that point in time. And then yeah, so after that, I think January 2024, I started speaking with Jesse. No, January 2020, yeah, 2024. So I've been saying so base launched August 2023, right? And I've been seeing the way they were actually going. Like
Yeah.
I loved what they were doing, right? Like the way they were targeting both technical and non-technical people. That was like the first thing for me because I was like, I love this. This is very new. Number one. And then number two, I also loved the way they were very, very big on people using the blockchain. So when Base launched, if you notice, attend conferences so much like that to just come and speak. Whatever Base does, Base is just trying to make sure okay, people get on chain and people start using the blockchain in one way or another, right? And so it was very interesting to see those two things. It caught my attention. I was like, I love these guys. And so January 2024, I started speaking with Jesse, right? In the DMs. We just started. So Jesse is someone that if you DM him today, he will respond. And so I DM'd him. And we just started speaking. And we spoke for like some months, like 6 months or so. And then there was a time where, and then it came a time where the Ethereum Foundation and Vitalik wanted to come to they wanted to come to Kenya, right, to visit Africa. You should be here, man. Ethereum Foundation is coming. And I was like, I cannot come. But so he said I cannot come. And I was like, okay, but I'm in Africa. I can represent you now. And that was it. Right. So they gave me like the resource. I say, are you there?
Oh yeah, I am. I am. Did my camera go off?
Yes, yes. So like just went off for like 1 second. But
Oh no, I'm
yes,
here.
yes, that was it. So I went to represent Biz and Jesse in Kenya with the Ethereum Foundation, and that was where the whole thing started, right? I just kept going. By this time, I was not officially employed. I was not even being paid. I was just doing stuff, right? Because like I loved the ecosystem, the way they're very intentional with support, and I just kept doing stuff. And one thing that Jesse mentioned to me that actually stuck with me was, Dami, I want to back you to keep bringing African builders on chain. So like if the founder of a blockchain and also like an executive in Coinbase is telling you, I want to back you to keep bringing African builders on chain, it was something that blew my mind at the time that, okay, this is nice. And I just kept doing this. And so I actually kind of placed him on like a trial period because like I didn't enjoy, most people used to say they like Africa, they want to do Africa, but like I placed him on like a trial period of 3 months, to be honest. Like, okay, let's see what this guy can do. And I came up with a lot of like weird requests, to be honest. Like there were a lot of weird requests that I came up with, and like he was just there doing everything back to back. And I was like, yeah, this man actually meant what he said. And so that was it. I just kept doing stuff for them. So that's like a whole A to Z of like my life, the ones I can share publicly anyway.
Like, okay, okay. I think what I love about your journey is that you are lighting the part that okay, at this point I was not employed. I was doing it out of I actually love this protocol. And I think that's something that most people do not understand when they get into the Web3 ecosystem. They think, okay, you just come in and somebody just hands you a paycheck and be like, oh yeah, go on, spend my money and do whatever you want to carry out. Just do it. Come on, take the money. But that's not how it starts. Most times you start from this stage of you are contributing, or should I say you are volunteering, and that is how you kind of build your value in the ecosystem. That is how you
Yep.
get from point A being just somebody that is volunteering to being part of the core Coinbase team. And congratulations on that. We should celebrate
Thank
that.
you.
You have one serious yacht party. Okay,
Thank you
I
so much. Yeah, like
think
I
we have.
to just quickly add on what you said, like it's important that people just know that, right? Like there's a lot of negative sentiment and reputation about Africans. Like it is what it is. Like we cannot complain. It is the reality, and that's because of what some people have been doing, right? But like it is just up to me and you to like kind of change that sentiment, like in our own corner, right? And so like most times a lot of protocols will doubt you, a lot of people will doubt you, but like just keep showing value, right? Like value is just the most important thing. There's one thing I also say, the world will bow to undeniable value, right? Like if there's value and it's undeniable, everybody would actually be able to like say yes, this is value, right? Like it's subjective, it's objective, it's not subjective. So just try to like add value in your own little corner, and then delayed gratification, very important. Like don't start out thinking you want to start earning $15K like in your first month. Like just try to like contribute value. Everybody loves nobody loves a parasite, right? Everybody loves like a mutual beneficial partner. So that is what you should just try to be. Try to add value in whatever way. Yes. Even the highest of knees can actually bow.
Okay. So we have like we're supposed to terminate the live stream by 8:30. So this is like a 2 minutes where we have to shout out some of your favorites base projects from Africa. Which ones would they be?
I have a lot of favorite based products. I
Like
have
just the ones you can remember. Let's start from there.
quick disclaimer. This doesn't mean they're my favorites, right? So these are just the ones that I can remember right now. But like there are a lot of them. We have on board. Shout out to Yele. Yele is an amazing person. We have
Amazing.
um amazing person. We have block reader. Block reader just hits a milestone of $100 million, like big milestone. Crack team. That team is a team that we need to like sit down and hear their story, because their story is actually packed as well. Very crazy story. We have Paycrest, no blocks by Chibi. Shout out to Chibi. We have Aza by Tochukwu. Aza is really trying to like change the perception around consumer apps on chain, and like he has Tochukwu has tried doing that. Yes, we have the new ones, Zero Card, we have IFA Labs, we have BitSafe Protocol. Yeah, they're actually a lot. Charis isn't
Okay. Those ones are your favorites. Okay, we have
Hi
Charis.
everyone. Good evening. I am so
Hi.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for joining late. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfectly well.
I'm still outside, but this is like a quiet room in the yard, so you can still hear some noise in the background. So sorry. I'm just joining.
no props.
Okay,
Let
no
me
problem. I think we're just going to have like a special session with Chari. She has been one of the leading female voices for Base in Africa. But thank you for joining. We'll have a special
Thank you.
session with you.
Okay.
But thank you for showing up. Thank you.
I'm so sorry for the
Okay.
noise. I'm so sorry. Okay, next time.
No problem. Next time. Okay, so I think one thing I love the most about Charis is that initially when she came in, she had this whole base for everybody thing, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" So this is like the two, like you and Charis and Coco and some certain people, they were the ones that actually brought base to Africa. So we're paying homage at this point.
Yeah, like there are actually a handful of people that have been doing stuff like back to back since beginning of last year. Elisha, one of them. Adiola, Robiu. You guys know him as Robiu. Like we actually even kickstarted the whole thing together. So yes, I mean a handful of people, and it's so nice to just see that they are still here in the base ecosystem, pushing frontiers. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I think we've have come to the end of the space. Yes, yes. But before we go, I think we have something cooking with Azza. We have a builder meetup going up with Azza, and he's going to be on Saturday. So if you
Nice.
are watching this and you are looking for a way to meet the team of Use Azza, we have something coming up with them. Just stay tuned. And we've been talking so much about the base ecosystem that I think today is just going to be all about base. So thank you once again, Sadamilare, for actually taking time to be here and honoring our invitation. We really, really, really appreciate that. And if you missed the beginning of this live stream, it's the title is basically building the future of Africa on the base ecosystem. And we had the base lead for West Africa. He has shared this journey from Ghana Stock Exchange to Nigerian Stock Exchange to Polygon and now to Coinbase Cotton. That's admirable. I would not lie. Or after this call, they're going to come and tell me what's OT, like how you did it and everything. So
Oh no, I think well, let's just see. It's something I can just say. I think it's just been like very relentless. I think just keep going. I mean, there's one quote I love from Winston Churchill. It's success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the enthusiasm to keep going that counts. So just keep going. Nothing is impossible. I mean, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
okay,
This was nice.
no problem. And we've come to the end of the live stream. Thank you once again, everybody. And I think we're going to be out now. Yes.